Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome. The wait is over.
Let's get this thing started.
Across the nation and around the world, I welcome you all to episode 126 of the In or Out Sports Debate. I am your host, Drew Willingham, and we are back again for episode 126. We made it to another Sunday out here in these streams, and I am returned with not only myself, but two returning panelists. We have to give it up for both of them, coming from the No Credentials Required podcast, as well as other programs within Belly Up Media. Give it up for my guys, Dustin Henry, one-time Vault of Fame inductee, and two-time Vault of Fame inductee, Mr. McCarthy, Ryan McCarthy.
Warriors throw through the veins.
Oh, man. All right. You got a pretty good Ultimate Warrior. I wasn't expecting that coming out of the gate.
I was waiting for the fingers and the, ooh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I want Warrior style, man. Tassels and all.
Hey, Macho Man had tassels too, you know. He did.
That's true, but they were on his jacket, not on his boots.
Yeah. Do you ever see the story of, I think it was somebody, I forget, it might have been Undertaker. They're walking through the airport, it's Ultimate Warrior, and he's saying he's angry that people are recognizing him, but meanwhile he had a jacket with Warrior on the back of it. He had his tassels, and like Undertaker's like, well, of course everyone recognizes you. You're walking around.
You're a walking billboard.
Yeah.
Welcome back, fellas. We have another fun-packed episode with one wrestling topic, as you know, that the people will find out here shortly. And we have a few comments to get us started. Dante's already out here saying, no!
What's up?
We lost!
Oh, no!
Because the Eagles had a 21-point lead and gave up 24 unanswered points in the second half.
To who?
The Cowboys!
Right.
The Cowboys of all teams! My hair, these luscious locks are turning grayer, and I'm not even a fan of either one of these teams, but I was an Eagles fan for 3.5 hours today, fellas. They're in my division, and they lost 24 unanswered points. What in the expletive? Tell me.
I needed that win because I'm behind in our Cut the Breaks Pick'em challenge. So that one hurt me.
It did. Wait, you still had a chance tonight. If the Buccaneers win, we might be tied.
Yeah, hopefully that happens.
But the Cardinals were this close to finally get me a sweep in the old challenge. Finally.
But I hit a parlay today because of Brissett getting 250 passing yards. What was it? Trevor Lawrence hit 200 passing yards, and Shador Sanders hit 200 passing yards. I put just the three of them for like $20, won like 140 some bucks. I was like,
there you go.
I was like, I'm going to take a whim. So, and I did. Went on the whim. And I got it.
That's nice.
So,
that's nice.
Ike is here, says, what's up, fellas? As well as I'm here, not giving a fuck, as usual.
He never does.
Mickey's in the house saying, let's go, Mickey Delaney. Welcome back to the program. And Vicola! Yes, we have an all-star crew in the comments tonight. Man, this feels like Christmas and not Thanksgiving week. I'm thankful for you all being out here tonight. Thank you so much. And, well, hang on. I got to read this first. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Hello. How are you doing, Sensei Drew, Dustin Henry, and the dastardly supervillain Espresso McCarthy?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
I'm jealous. I can't do that.
I clearly can't.
Well, kind of. Holy crap, I can. I've never done
Yeah,
it.
you can.
Nice.
Victor, we need a nickname for Dustin from Victor.
Yeah, whatever. I'm an open book, Victor. You can put whatever you want on,
you go.
as the nickname. I'll endorse it.
Hey, you got 90 minutes tonight to try to figure it out here in the comments, and we'll vote on it. We'll do that as part of the program for these next 5 rounds.
In or out for Dustin's nickname.
Hey, we'll put it up there. In or out. The bonus round. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, prepare for the triple threat match for the Sertoba Championship of the World. It's the in or out sports debate. Man, I'm loving you guys tonight. The Silent Night Visuals is in the house. Shout out to you, brother, saying first time tuning in.
Hey,
We appreciate having you out here in these
appreciate it.
streams. And Fire Nick.
oh man, here we go again. Here we go again. You know what? Fire Nick once again. They're gonna win a Super Bowl. And they're gonna fire Nick after 3 months into the season.
I got
honor
it.
of
Billy's never happy.
in honor of Cole and the Button. That's how it looks like when you watch them play in the second half of this game and at other parts throughout this season. It's been absolutely terrible.
What?
I said fathering terrible.
What?
You know it, and I know it.
It's that offensive coordinator. He's not good. He's not good.
Don't forget about the custom sunglasses. Macho Man had the custom sunglasses and the cowboy hat.
Oh, yeah.
Dion was wearing the cowboy hat today in honor of being in presence of Shador Sanders, getting his first win as a rookie quarterback for the Browns in 30 years. The first time since 1995 that a rookie quarterback has won their first start as a rookie in Cleveland for the Cleveland Browns.
Man. That's
wow.
rough.
I was trying to think of who that was.
It was somebody last name Seiler, I think he said. I can't remember. I don't think it was Evan Seiler. I don't know why Evan Seiler's in my head, but Derek Seiler, Darren Seiler. It was something Seiler. I could be completely wrong. Fact check me, please. But I just know it was 30 years in 1995. I do remember that.
Eric Zier.
I had the ER right.
You did.
And the E for Evan and Eric. Yes, I was close.
Yep, Eric Zier from University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs.
At least my Fins didn't lose to the bye.
It was possible.
Hey, you're on a heater right now, Mr. Knight.
All of you out here in the comments deserve. All of them deserve.
Is that a Pizzle in the chat?
Where?
The Silent Night Visuals. That might be a Pizzle. Because with the YouTube screwing up the handles now, they all go by the email handles instead of the actual written handles. It might be Piz.
Well, I just know everybody mainly from this, but from the Fins, it might be. But if it is a Pizzle, definitely appreciate having you out here. But whoever it is, we appreciate. But all of you are dropping dimes in the chat. I got to give you this to start the show.
What's that? What's that?
Taking it back a quarter century.
All time internet meme was the Super Friends doing the WhatsApp. Oh, so
yeah.
We might need to bring back Tyrone Alizé McDummy. I need to dig
saying,
that
how about
up.
them boys?
Oh no, Dante recommended it to him.
Oh,
So
okay.
Shout out to Dante for
Either
bringing
way.
in another viewer to check out our shenanigery
Look,
out here in these streams because
I turned down. Look, I turned down my I dimmed my monitor because it was so bright. I don't want it to be shining in everybody's faces. So it looked familiar. Sorry.
hey man, you want to turn down your natural glow, that's all on you. But we got 5 rounds to get through from start to finish. We're gonna take it on into the first one. Let us know how bad my graphic is out here in these streams with our new viewer tonight. Let's take it to round 1.
Round 1.
Benching quarterback Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor will have minimal impact on the remaining games for this season in the New York Jets. Ryan, we'll start this one out with you since you are the super fan of the team.
Of course you would.
How do you feel about this one? Are you in or are you out, my man?
Yeah, I'm in for this one. And I'll tell you why I'm in. Because regardless of who plays for the Jets this season at quarterback, whether it's Justin Fields, is it Tyrod or Tyrod?
Tyrod.
According to Baker, it's Tyrod.
According to the management at Belly Up Sports, is Tyrod, or even
Never
Brady,
heard that in my entire life. But
or even Brady Cook. This team's not going to score a lot of points in offense. Look, they put 32 points up on the Steelers in week 1. They didn't do much after that. Put up 39 against the Bengals, but that's the Bengals, right? But after the bye week, they go into the bye week with a win. They go play the Browns. 21 of their 27 points in this game were on special teams, including those 2 returns, the kick return and the punt return. Other than that, and Breece Hall's screen pass that went 54-something yards for a touchdown. I mean, even for those return touchdowns, they had 2 yards of offense in that game up until that point. 2 yards net. Against the Patriots, they scored in the first drive. Then they had a 3-and-out. The remaining drives in the first half, they tried to make it respectable. Quarterback play was not great. And again, today against Baltimore, they were relatively impotent in the second half. It's not going to matter if a scared Justin Fields. Let's just call it what it is. He's scared. He's a scared man in that backfield. Or it's an aging, or it's an aging Tyrod Taylor. Neither quarterback has had or will have much of an impact on the remaining games for the rest of the 2025 season. This is an evaluation period for the next 7 weeks, including today. No matter how much effort is made by the offense or the defense, neither units have put together 2 complete halves on other side of the ball. Now, to be fair, the Jets have other concerns than quarterback going into the offseason.
Yes.
They're going to have a lot of cap room to work with, so they're going to go shopping. They've got 8 draft picks coming up in this year's draft, including 2 in the first round. So they could draft a quarterback. Currently they're projected to get, I think they're going to pick 2nd or 3rd, depending on what Tankathon says.
Titans
so they could. Titans are number 1, but they don't need a quarterback. Cam Ward was their draft pick last year, so they're good there. They just need offensive line help and somebody to throw to other than a perpetually injured Calvin Ridley. But right now, this is an evaluation period. Jets have more concerns than quarterback to address in the offseason. Only 6 more weeks of this garbage.
Dustin, how do you feel? Do you agree with him? Are you in or are you out on this one?
For the sake of the show, I wanted to be out, but I'm in. I'm in as well. Whoever is playing... I know what the name of the show is, but whoever is in at quarterback, it's not going to matter. And I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route than Ryan did to explain why. First, Tyrod is not what he used to be. He's had some injuries. He's had, he's older now, and he's not quite as mobile as he used to be. Now, I will admit, the Jets were able to move the ball a little bit more today with him in there. They were able to move it at times during the game, but it's not going to matter because, as Ryan said, the Jets have holes in other places on the roster. They traded away some of their defensive stars, so their defense, although they played a great game today, you got to give it to them. Their defense is not quite what it used to be. But to me, the biggest thing, there was one play that told me 2 different things about the quarterback play today. And I was watching the Jet game on Red Zone, and they had a chance. They were in that game with the Ravens, and on a 3rd and 6, they hand the ball to Isaiah Davis and have him run it up the middle. That tells me 2 things. One, they don't have faith in Tyrod, aka Tyrod, to win the game, with his arm. That shows what they think about his level of play as a coaching staff, because if they thought that he could convert in that situation, they would have given the ball to him. And secondly, it shows that the coaching staff, Ryan, who is the Jets offensive coordinator? Forgive me, I cannot
Taylor
remember.
Engstrand.
He had a few of those baffling calls, like in situations where it's obvious throws, they're running the ball, not even with Breece Hall, it's Isaiah Davis in there. So I'm saying, what are you doing? So partially it's on coaching too, because Aaron Glenn, Aaron Glenn, I understand he's trying to reshape the culture, but there are times with this Jets coaching staff where you're going, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Why are you calling that play in that particular situation? I mean, I'm not a football coach, and you know, thank goodness for that. But even I'm thinking it's 3rd and 6. You got to pass here. You got to pass here and try to convert this run. It's not going to go anywhere. So that shows me that it's not completely quarterback play. There's, you know, him being in the game is not going to make a difference.
I really like both of your arguments. Most of the time, I would agree with you. But for the sake of debate,
There it is.
you know it's coming.
There it is.
I am out. It's one key statistic you guys forgot to mention in your arguments that would have helped mine a little bit. And the fact that the owner's son plays Madden, okay? The owner's son plays Madden, and when he plays Madden, he likes to make some trades, move some pieces around. But guess what Sonny Boy didn't do in this year's Madden 26? He didn't trade Tyrod Taylor. He had a feeling that Tyrod was going to be something special. And you know why? Because his career as a starter is 29. 29-1, okay? Tyrod Taylor has a 500 record and some change because he has the tie, okay? 500 and some change record as a starter in the NFL. That's way better than Justin Fields, okay? And yes, very good argument about the fact that they were handing the ball off in situations where Tyrod should have passed the ball. But I will argue with this. He hasn't really been getting the reps as a starter. So this week, he finally gets the reps as a starter. Next week, once he gets a little bit more comfortable, he might look a little bit better than he did this week when they go up against the Falcons on November 30th. They're going to be a tough task because now that Kirk Cousins is back in the saddle and feeling the groove, he did pretty decent today, and they got the win for the Falcons. So it's going to be a tough matchup, but you're at home.
It's the
Tyrod loves New York, okay? He loves it because he's 29-1, 500 and some change. Just remember that. We're going to take this one away with 500 and some change. It needs to be on a t-shirt. 500 and some change. I'll say it again. Because Tyrod is the man. And for the sake of debate, I have to get hyped about him because nobody is. Nobody is sitting here giving Tyrod his flowers. Yes, he looks like an old man because he is, okay? But the rest of this team has just as much impact on their losses because Sonny Boy didn't trade him away in Madden. If he would have traded them away in Madden and had a talk with old Woody and said, Pops traded this guy away in Madden. I brought this piece in. It's working out pretty good. Then he would have convinced his dad, oh, then we got to make this trade real life because Sonny Boy did it, and we are now looking good on a video game. Let's transition it into real life. So what do? Start trading away Quentin Williams and stuff that's been happening on there. That has just as much impact on why this team can't finish games because they don't have the defense that they were strong with 2 years ago, which is what compelled Aaron Rodgers to join them in the first place because he had protection on both sides of the ball. At least he thought so. The offensive line couldn't keep him upright, which is still a problem today. But yes, the benching of him where it says will have minimal impact, I think it's going to have maximal impact because Justin Fields was scrambling around for his life, looked like he was just a boy amongst men, okay? Because he could not get the job done as a quarterback. Tyrod Taylor has been in the league quite some time, has bounced around to several teams, Buffalo being, a one within the division that he got his most exposure with, and we got to see flashes of what he can do. He's older, yes, he's less mobile, but I feel like he gives you a better chance to win games and finish them at least, or at least be close like today where they were competitive at least through 3 quarters, in my opinion. Just couldn't finish it out, and that's why he took the big old fat old stick. All right, I know I'm about to get cooked. Let's get it over with.
I mean, he's got a better. They got a better offensive line this year than they've had the last 2 years. I will say that much. You don't have guys who are past their prime basically stealing money. First it was Dwayne Brown in 2023. than it was Tyron Smith last season. So at left tackle. So you don't have those guys. They got you got a younger offensive line. They're playing much better. They don't get much pressure as previous regimes, as previous players have. Especially, although I will say Armand Membu at right tackle, he should be in consideration for Rookie of the Year. He won't get it because he plays an unsexy position. Let's be truthful here. But he should get at least some flowers for, all rookie team. As far as the trades go, I addressed this on my spinoff show, Just Endure the Suffering. Ding. On the No Credentials Required YouTube channel. Ding. My guy Dan and I talked about this, and we felt that at the end of the day, with these trades that they made, they had to be done. Quinn Williams was never going to be in the playoffs in New York. He hasn't, and he's the longest up until then. He was the longest tenured Jet, and they could move Sauce Gardner, even though it was a surprising trade. It was never considered for a trade, but like Colts said, basically we're going to make an offer you can't refuse, and they could not refuse it. So at least they got a chance for build for the future. Same thing with Dallas. They get a second round pick next year, and their choice of first round picks in 2027. So if Dallas or Green Bay finishes in a worse position, the Jets can take one of those two picks and continue to build. So while us Jets fans are wanting a franchise quarterback, we've wanted a franchise quarterback for a very long time. We actually traded the guy who could have been the franchise quarterback, give up too soon on him because they didn't build around him. I think they're looking at, okay, we have some pieces to build right now, but we just need to find the guy, whether it be through a trade. Like they've been linked to Joe Burrow, trying to get Joe Burrow. I don't think Joe Burrow would want that smoke. They could get themselves a nice quarterback in this year's draft, or perhaps sign a bridge quarterback for next year and draft in 2027, because everybody's got a semi for the 2027 draft class.
Oh, man. I did not expect that.
That was very, very well said, Ron.
Who's playing Duolingo?
I would say that right there, what you said, needs to be passed on to Sonny Boy. And Sonny Boy needs to prepare a speech for his pops.
Look, frankly, I think once Woody Johnson leaves this realm, Brick's going to sell the team. And pray to God he does.
I mean, we should have that situation in Tennessee with the Adam Strunk, whatever her name is, that took over from Bud Adams, the daughter that took over the Titans, because she's absolutely running that one into the ground. I mean, Mark Davis doing a better job running the Raiders than she is with the Titans. And that's saying a lot, to be honest, because of how the Raiders have been over the last decade. So, I mean, I don't know. You might have a Dan Snyder situation minus all the other stuff that was going on.
We just need to find
situation about owner you don't really want. I would.
We
say.
just need to find some stuff on the Johnson brothers, and then they'll. Are there parties on yachts that we don't know of out in the middle of the sea?
Go find the dirt, as Silent Night Visual says. The Jets organization is broken. Quarterback is the least of their issues, supporting a lot of what you're saying there, Ryan. So.
Look in the mirror, sir. You're a Dolphins fan. They've got their share of problems too.
They do, but I would much rather be a Dolphins fan right now than a Jets fan, in all honesty. I mean, if I were to choose, my situation's pretty bad myself over there in Washington.
They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. At least the Jets have won playoff games since then.
Yeah, but then the
granted they haven't been in the playoff. Granted, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2010. But that's besides the point.
Wasn't it the year of the Butt Fumble?
That was 2012 and Thanksgiving. They haven't played on Thanksgiving since.
I thought that was in the playoffs.
No, that was in Thanksgiving in 2012.
Yeah, that's why everyone remembers it. Yeah.
Yep. If it was on a Sunday game, nobody would have ever remembered. But it was on Thanksgiving night. Everybody remembered.
And it was in the primetime slot.
It was in the primetime slot. Thanks for the reminder, Dustin.
I'm sorry.
At least a reminder from Sick Dickie is that you're wearing a nice sweater. You look GQ out here, Dustin.
Hey.
Oh, thank you very much, Sick.
Justin Fields is still traumatized from his stint in Chicago. Blame it on the mannequin offensive line.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Turnstiles. Justin Fields should have stayed in college, to be honest.
The entire quarterback draft class of 2021 should have stayed in college another year. To be honest. Let's be honest. They all should have.
Yeah, it's not been good.
Everybody saw everybody got the blinders they're on when that draft class came out. Oh, Mac Jones, Justin Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. My goodness. All these quarterbacks, and none of them have really done well.
Yeah.
That was the same year Trevor Lawrence came out, right?
Trevor Lawrence, excuse me. Yeah. He went number 1.
Okay, so where I'm thinking of, I would say he's probably been the most successful out of them, and he still has a lot of room to grow. I mean,
yeah, well, and I don't want to admit it, but I think Mac Jones is better than we thought he was, because look what he's doing with the Niners right now. Belichick, some of the stuff that came out about Belichick's time in New England with Mac Jones, it's like, oh man, they really didn't do anything to help Mac Jones. But
I'll agree on similar. I'll meet you in the middle. I would say he did not get what he deserved in New England as far as leadership, mentorship, coaching to develop. He was hurt in his development. I mean, hell, look at what 1 week of development did for Shedeur Sanders today. All right. Just 1 week of development and what he did in Cleveland. So I'll work with you a little bit on that. However, San Francisco is a lot more of a plug and play system.
Yes.
Than Brock Purdy, I don't feel like deserves the amount of contract that he got, because of the fact that is such a plug and play system. Because you bring in somebody like Mac Jones, he's having the success that he did. If Sam Darnold was there, they'd be doing the same thing because of what Sam Darnold was able to do in Minnesota and now what he's doing in Seattle. If you put them in the right situations, they can succeed. And it depends on, of course, the quarterback skill set, their drive. They got to have the drive and the will to learn the system and work with whoever their team is. That's a big given. But yes, the direction of the coaching in New England was a dumpster fire when Mac Jones was there. He deserved better. And I'm just glad that it was all able to change in time to get Drake May. And they have the success that they do over there with Mike Vrabel. Now that Belichick and Brady are gone, I don't dislike the Patriots like I used to back in the day.
Yeah.
But
I still hate them.
yes, because they're in your division.
They're in my division.
Dante says, who cares who the quarterback is? The Jets and Giants are cursed. They draft great players, lose them, then draft another great player, then repeat until they move the team to New York City. They're cursed.
I mean, the Giants have had had success back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Let's be fair. Lately, they have not. Gettleman was not a good GM.
No.
Dable's not a great coach. Wasn't a great coach. Jury's still out on Joe Shane.
Very much so. I'll give you that.
Did nail quarterback in the draft, though.
Yes.
To an extent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's not
as long
forget
as they keep them safe. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, because they got to mind those P's and Q's. Let's not forget Tyrod Taylor has a Super Bowl ring with the Ravens as Joe Flacco's backup in 2012.
It's history.
I almost read that as Shane Falco.
Oh, man, that would have been awesome.
The replacements.
Shane Falco's not coming out of that tunnel.
The Jets did the fire sale already 2 times. 2021 Zach Wilson and Elijah Tucker. Then 2022 Sauce, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson. Go ahead, Ryan.
That's revisionist history, Dante. So Elijah Vera Tucker and Garrett Wilson were first-round picks from the Seattle Seahawks in that Jamal Adams trade. They traded back into the first round in 2022 to grab Jermaine Johnson.
Man, that Jamal Adams trade, it still haunts me.
Nobody really won that trade so far.
The Jets can't win with a defensive-minded coach.
They can't win with. So this is the bee in my bonnet with this ownership group. They get first-time head coaches because they're cheaper to pay for. If you grab a well-established coach, it's going to cost you more, and they're too cheap to get themselves an established head coach. Like, I don't know what names are what names are out there. Lane Kiffin, or a, God forbid, Bill Belichick ever comes back to the Jets. My God, over Woody Johnson's dead body, of course. Yeah, if you look at some of the head coaches that have been out there or rumored to come back, they're not going to pay all that money. I mean, if God forbid John Harbaugh become available at the end of the season, if the Ravens don't go to the playoffs, and he's out there, they're not gonna let go of Aaron Glenn. They've got a contract. They're not gonna pay him the rest of the 4 years in the contract. That costs too much money.
Yeah, they'd be the Giants if they did that. They're still paying like 4 coaches right now, like 4 head coaches because of the contracts over the last half decade.
Yeah.
So
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. And he says, my bad with the typing error. You should have seen me try to spell leprechaun yesterday. So it's okay. It's all good. Like you
were watching Notre Dame, weren't you?
Yes. It also, I was trying to play a prank at work because I call somebody the leprechaun, but that's another story for another day. But yes, I completely was fumbling the football. I had to Google it. I was messing up. So yes, don't feel bad. It's all good. And Dante says, which is my point, draft great players, then replace great players with great players years later. No hope for the Jets. I'm going back to college, then get drafted by the Jets.
Then you'd be the oldest rookie they've ever had, Dante.
Chris Winkie status for the early 2000s. 28-year-old rookie.
Carolina great Chris Winkie.
Chris Winkie.
wasn't the Browns quarterback Brandon Whedon? Wasn't he like super old too for a rookie?
I think he was like 27. Yeah, he was like a year younger. Yeah, you're right.
Oklahoma State great Brandon Whedon.
It was literally when he was playing college, the man amongst boys.
Yeah, really.
That brings up.
There are guys with like 8-year eligibility that they're going to be drafted this year in the draft. They're almost 30.
Oh, man.
Calm down with the red shirts, bro. Like, come on, man.
Transfer portal's always open.
That brings up the question of the franchises, of which franchises are the cheapest when it comes to signing coaches or players. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
You'd have to look at some of the smaller market teams. I mean, if we were talking baseball, I would say the Pittsburgh Pirates. If we are talking pro football, I mean, they didn't want to pay Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Usually they trade away with bonehead plays like A.J. Brown, like before they pay them. So I would say Tennessee is probably one of the worst teams to pay players, in my opinion, if we're going to go far neutral and not try to look at our own teams that we really pay attention to.
Speaking of Derrick Henry, I got to ask, Jerry, we got to bring Jerry Jones in the conversation. Mr. Jones, how come we didn't sign Derrick Henry?
I thought that we could, I thought we could get it done with Pollard back there. I thought he was great. And, I dropped the ball on Derrick. What do you want me to say? Steven really didn't like it. I'm going to throw Steven under the bus on that one.
But, Dad,
that was fantastic. But it looks like he'll get his redemption this offseason when they sign Pickens to a big deal, because if he does not sign Pickens this offseason, there needs to be some type of way that people can vote him out as the owner or something. There has to be a conclusion, because that would be literally the dumbest move of all the opportunities you've had. Because look at what Pickens is doing this year. I mean, he's been the leading receiver in the league since he was a rookie with his catches. And this year he's leading the league in catches and yards.
Interesting we bring up Jerry Jones, because that's going to be talking about in our Thanksgiving special on Thursday.
There it is. I look forward to it, because you guys didn't have one last week, so I didn't get a chance to check you out last week on No Credentials Required. So I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving edition, because I will be at work, so I need something to watch with football. So I will be tuning in.
We will
as long as it's after 4 o'clock. But With all that being said, we still have 4 more rounds to get to. Let's go ahead and take it on into round 2 and see if we can have just as explosive rounds as we did for the first one.
Round 2.
Here with round 2, you knew it was coming. The LA Lakers will trade LeBron James this season prior to the NBA deadline. Dustin, we'll start this one out there with you, sir. How do you feel about this one? Are you in or are you out?
I went back and forth on this one. I went back and forth, but I'm going to say that I'm in for one reason. Because now I'm not up on all my basketball knowledge here. And I don't think that I don't think that there's a realistic trading partner for LeBron James, because the one GM that would have pulled the trigger, he got fired by my Mavs. But I will say LeBron's got one thing that a lot of teams find very valuable. He's got an expiring contract. So I think that will be enough to tempt somebody to pull the trigger and try to make the Lakers have an asset, and they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to transition out of the NBA era. Somebody's going to do it, because I did not realize. I did a little research before the show. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I did a little research before the show. And LeBron's got an expiring contract, and those are some of the most valuable assets in the NBA to package for a trade. So I'm going to say, because LeBron has an expiring contract and he's been vocal that this is supposedly his last year, although the cynic in me says that he's going to hang on to try to play with Bryce when Bryce enters the league. We know it could happen. He's got that expiring contract. Look at how much time he's already missed. He's not, if he comes back, he could help the Lakers a little bit, specifically with their shooting. But I think they will. They'll try to move him because he's got an expiring contract. They're trying to enter a rebuild, a silent rebuild. They're trying to focus the team around Luka and Austin Reeves right now. And you can't do that with LeBron and his whole mindset and circus on the roster.
Very well said. For someone who said he didn't really keep up with basketball that much lately, you absolutely crushed it. I like it. Ryan, how do you feel? You agree with him? Are you going to be out? Are you going to be in with this? Or are you going to be out?
I'm out. And I'll tell you why I'm out. Because he just played his first game on Tuesday night. Like my esteemed co-host from No Credentials Required, ding, Dustin said, I'm not up to speed on the NBA either. But we're constantly getting the LeBron everything because this is the era we live in, unfortunately. Prior to that game, they were 10-4. They're currently 11-4. When he came back to the lineup, they scored 140 points. It's a season high 140 points. Granted, this was a one-off and they haven't played a game since. They don't play again until tonight. But before this, they came back. This team was being carried by the aforementioned Luka Doncic, and I'm just scrolling my notes here. Austin Reeves? Wait a minute.
He's been good.
He's been good, apparently. But having LeBron back in the lineup definitely helps them. I still think they need a big, like a power forward to help them out. Rui Hachimura is all right, I guess. And DeAndre Ayton is all right, I guess. But somehow, just like last season, when Nico Harrison brutally traded away Luka Doncic for the spare parts known as Anthony Davis, the Lakers needed a big. They still need a big, and I just look, the NBA is my favorite league that's full of conspiracies. So they're gonna try to find a way. The NBA is going to try to find a way to approve a trade for the Lakers to acquire a big guy, like a big center or a big power forward at the trade deadline, and he might be located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because they want to help LeBron ride off into the sunset with one more championship. So people can say that LeBron won, it goes out into the sunset with a championship, just like one Michael Jordan did back in the day. They want to say that he's gonna be the greatest of all time, this and that. It's like, no. Just because you've been here the longest doesn't mean you're the greatest. So I don't think they're gonna trade him at the deadline, but they're gonna make a way for the team to acquire a big man in the middle or a big power forward that can help them get over the top. And again, if this is indeed LeBron's last season in the NBA, it's 23rd, believe it or not, they're going to find a way to get him a title in his last go around, or at least try to make it seem like if they win this year, they try to repeat next year so it can match Jordan. God forbid that happens. We'll never hear the end of it if he does. But for that reason, I'm out. Because don't forget the Bronny factor too.
Yeah,
he's been going back and forth between the G League and the NBA. They're gonna try to find a way to have him be the first father-son. I think they'll be the first father-son duo to win an NBA title on the same team.
Yeah, but Bronny's afraid to shoot the ball. I mean, look at when he had the opportunities to start right before LeBron came back from the back sciatica, situation where he was out for 14 games. They were passing the rock to Bronny. Bronny started a game and they passed it to him and he just kept passing it away. He didn't want to take the shot because he didn't have the confidence. There's a lot of things that you said that were good, Ryan, with being out on this one. There's a lot of good things Dustin said. Regardless, the Lakers need to
stop it. Get some help.
They're not going to get that guy in order to do it. So
no.
Whichever way you lean, we have a tiebreaker situation right here, which, of course, the people determine who wins these rounds when they comment out here in the chat. But I got to say I'm in. LeBron James. And Dustin brought up a really great point. He's in the last year of his contract. You want to get something for it. If you're the Lakers and you really want to build something for the future, yes, you're 11-4 right now. And as we currently speak, they are up 55-49 in the second quarter with 3 minutes left against the Jazz in Utah, which the Jazz are 5-10 right now. So they should definitely win this game, being the fact the Lakers are 11-4. But LeBron James at this point in the game only has 5 points. Okay, that's it. LeBron James is not the type of player that we're used to seeing scoring 20 and 25 points, having 10 rebounds, 10 assists, getting triple doubles like he did 10 years ago, easy in his sleep when he was when he was leaving the Heat and going to the Cavs to start that run with his second stint with the Cavs. At this point, he's a general on the court, like another coach, where literally he knows the game better than anybody around. And kind of like how Peyton Manning was in his last year, where his body was failing him as a quarterback in Denver and his mind had to will them through because of what he was seeing on the other side and how he had to play chess. You're literally watching LeBron play chess out there in a basketball game and surgically maneuvering through the open lanes, getting the ball to Ayton and Doncic and Reeves and even others on the team like, Gabe Vincent and Hachimura, but they need more help, like you said, Ryan, at the same time with getting a big man. I don't see that happening by the trade deadline. I don't see them getting a big man at the deadline without having to give up too much to get that. And if you do that, you're going to have to move with like maybe Austin Reeves and some other pieces. If you really want to get that big man that you're talking about, it would be a lot easier to move LeBron James in another piece to bring in that big man. If you're really going to go on a championship run, whether it be this year or next season, after you make that trade and then you make some moves in the offseason with free agents that could potentially come to your team or a draft pick. But it doesn't look like they're going to get that draft pick, because the team that still could potentially get the lottery pick, and it's crazy to even say it, is the Thunder, because of the trades that came as about from that LA Clippers situation where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went from the Clippers with a bunch of picks for Paul George, and Paul George was a rental for only a few months, ended up in Philadelphia, and they still have to give up their last first-round pick to the Thunder this year in 2026, which could potentially be a lottery pick because of the Clippers situation. So with that being said, if you really want to get max value for your team for the future, which whether it's this year or by 2027, LeBron is out of there. Part of what you guys said, or with Dustin said, with Bryce and him playing with Bryce, I don't see that being potentially an option because Bryce is redshirting this year more than likely with Arizona because he didn't look all that great in preseason, let's be honest, before they started their college basketball season. If he redshirts, he's not going to go in the draft this upcoming year. His value is going to be less than what Bronny's was when he was drafted in the second round. And Bronny had playing time. Okay. He had a significant situation with his heart, but he got playing time. And that's why he was drafted along with being LeBron James' son. Being LeBron James' son with no playing time in college is not going to be enough to get drafted. Okay. Regardless of what you did pre-college. So that would put Bryce into potentially starting 26-27 season. I don't see LeBron playing 2027-28 season if Bryce is literally a 2 and done with only 1 year playing because he redshirted going into that draft in 2027. So whether it's this year or next year, I look at LeBron James as like the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA right now. The only way that LeBron comes back after this year is if they get to like the conference finals and lose, or like the NBA finals and lose, because then it'll tell him he's got a good enough team to make it that far and could potentially, with one more piece, get there again the next season. And then hopefully Brett Favre syndrome doesn't happen where he thinks that's going to happen because he went to the championship game before the Super Bowl and then was an absolute dud the next year and won like 3 games. His starting streak ends, all that stuff. Different situation, different sport, but I'm just comparing and contrasting with analogies in sports and, veterans, Hall of Famers who held on just a little too long is basically where I'm going. I don't think LeBron's hanging on too long because when he came back, he had a double-double in that first game a few nights ago. And right now, yeah, it's only, now actually, I take that back. LeBron has now gotten up to 10 points and it's not even halftime and has 5 assists. So he's doing enough at 40, right? He's doing enough to get it done. He's about to be 41, right, in December. So he's an old man in the game of basketball, but you can still get value for him. Not as much as if you were to trade him 2 years ago, but you can still get a decent haul in for that. Bring in whether it be picks or a big man, and you can still potentially send LeBron to a decent situation. What if LeBron ended up in Detroit, okay, with Cade Cunningham and the pieces that are around there in Detroit? I like LeBron in Detroit. And you brought up a team earlier, Ryan, with potentially moving Giannis, right? To Milwaukee. What if they move LeBron to Milwaukee to play with Giannis? I think Giannis coming to play with LeBron would be better in LA, but it could happen. So, but the chances of LeBron being traded is 50-50 right now because you want to make the move while he's healthy, right? Right now looks like it's your best opportunity, and I believe they have until February to make the move. And this when the trade deadline is. So sometime between now and February is what we're looking at. What do you guys?
I'm looking for the trade deadline. It's February 5th, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. February. That was right. Nice. So
sorry, I didn't say it right. February 5th. At 3 p.m. Eastern. There we go. I felt better.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I just think
6 says LeBron is basically in the position of Anthony Davis with his old body this season. No endorsement from Bum Leg Orthopedic for him.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to have the back brace of Bum Leg Orthopedic come out with him as the endorsement.
Right.
I've been carrying the league for so long. I need a brace to lift me up. Now from Bum Leg Orthopedic, the LeBron James back brace.
What were you saying before we got into the Bum Leg Orthopedic there, Dustin?
I was just saying I agree with you. He's still doing things. I'm 40. 42 and he's doing things at 40, almost 41 that I could never do. But he, like you said, he's still not the player that he was, but he's probably the best version of himself at this advanced age that you're going to get. And that, I think, with the expiring contract is enough for them to at least try to find a partner to move him. This is the time to move him. This is it, or else you're stuck with him.
It would be, it would be awesome if he can go through the rest of his career to support Ryan's take without being traded, which is very rarely said in sports, whether you're signing with a different team that you started with or being traded to a different team at some point. There's very few, and especially in the modern day, that can say that they went places on their own power, and he would have to waive his no trade clause.
Yeah.
If the Lakers continue to play like they're playing right now and how they were playing when he came back, and of course they were able to hold their own a decent bit without him to start the season. If they can stay healthy and continue to play well throughout the next 2 months going through January, Ryan's going to be right on this topic. If they struggle between now and the first of the year, I think we're going to hear a lot of heavy rumors of trade talks for LeBron in January to support what you and I are saying, Dustin. So the next 6 weeks are really going to be a telling story of how the Lakers and LeBron play and how the chemistry works for them. And we shall see over the course of that time what happens with them out here on the court. But before we go to round 3, we do have some breaking news. And that breaking news is this. Next week, same time, episode 127 will be here. Brother Hugh Scott will be returning, 4-time panelist here on the show. Will be coming back for his 5th appearance for episode 127, November 30th, 8:05 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Sertoba Media with myself as we go head-to-head to discuss football, baseball, and professional wrestling out here in these streams with Brother Hugh Scott of the wrestling realm and championship culture. And for those of you who see that beautiful belt on my shoulder, he is responsible for having that custom made, along with Brandon Custom Guy. The two of them are the reason why I have that championship.
It's an amazing belt.
Why are you pointing to your crotch?
DX in the hizzy right now.
Extra.
This is a family show, Drew. It's supposed to be a family show.
We try, but hey, they're a family show too. They're still PG, aren't they? And they still get to. So if they can do it, I can do it too. Fine. With all that being said, we're going to take it into round 3. See what we got in store for this one.
Round 3.
With round 3, the Seattle Seahawks will not qualify for the playoffs this season. Dustin, even though you started the last one, this is your topic. Just like Ryan had the topic for the first round, you got to start this one off. Will they or will they not qualify? Are you in or are you out on this one?
Your question was, your thing was they will not qualify to the playoffs. I am out on that. Okay, the Seahawks, I said before the season on our No Credentials Required NFL preview show that the Seahawks would be a wild card team this year because I said that the division still goes through LA with the Rams, and I still believe that at this point in the season, especially after last week's loss to the Rams. But one of the reasons why I strongly believe the Seahawks will make the playoffs this year is because of last week's loss at the Rams. There was a silver lining, if you're a Seahawk fan, to that loss to the Rams last week, and that was the defense played out of their minds. If you went and you said, okay, your starting quarterback's going to throw 4 interceptions, most teams in the NFL, you're thinking, okay, how bad is the blowout going to be? The Seahawks still were in position to win that game late, and they almost did it with a Jason Myers field goal in the fourth quarter in the waning seconds. They still almost came away with the victory. They were able to limit Matthew Stafford, who had been playing out of his mind. They kind of contained him in that game. The Seahawks defense is that good. And here's the thing. Shout out to my co-host on Seahawks Session, Kevin Wilson. He has been vocal. The Seahawks are negative in the turnover differential, but yet defensively heading into that Rams game last week, they were in the top 6 defensively in the NFL. And that's with being negative in the turnover differential. They're winning games defensively by stopping teams, and they're not generating turnovers. So in spite of that, they just beat the Titans today. They are 8-3. And I think that as of right now, they are slotted in the wild card. If seasons were to end today, they are in a wild card slot, which is exactly where I picked them to be. A lot of people thought that they were going to lose games because of Sam Darnold. They have won some games because of Sam Darnold. And also another big feather in my cap for my argument is they brought in Clint Kubiak to revitalize the running game. And it was supposed to be the zone blocking scheme from that Shanahan-Kubiak coaching tree. That was supposed to revitalize the running game, but it hasn't really worked out. The running game hasn't worked to the way that they've looked good at times. They looked great against the Steelers in week 2, and they dominated the New Orleans Saints. But those are really the only 2 games where the running game has gotten going. The rest of the time, it's been 3 factors that caused them to win games: the defense, Sam Darnold, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Nobody can stop Jackson Smith-Njigba. He is the number 1 receiver in the NFL right now. He has already broken the Seahawks franchise record for yards in a season, and we are 12 games into the season. He finished today's game, I believe, with 1,309 yards. No one is going to stop him. So he is a reason why they make the playoffs. I don't think they may not go as far as I want them to go, but they will make the playoffs. Sam Darnold is playing good enough in spite of his game last week against the Rams. They're in.
I like it. Very well said and very well argued. Ryan, are you going to disagree with your cohort here, or are you going to be out?
The question being, the statement being, the Seahawks will not qualify for the playoffs this season. I am out. And to my co-host, Jackson Smith-Njigba currently ended the day with 1,146 receiving yards, which is crazy that he broke the all-time single-season record for the Seahawks in 11 games. Incredible. Yeah. He's having a great season so far. I think he's definitely up for NFC Offensive Player of the Year. That's for sure. If not, MVP. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. And when I saw this in the chat from Drew, I said to myself, "Are we being trolled?" Nuts. Has he lost his mind?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yet being the qualifier here. Again, my co-host had eloquently stated, because as the resident Seahawks fan in this chat, the season that Jackson Smith-Njigba is having, setting that receiving record with 6 games remaining. Could he be the first to 2,000 yards in the NFL in receiving yards in the season? Could he break Megatron's record of a single season receiving record? We'll see. And he talks about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, the quarterback the Jets drafted and then looked like they ruined. Great season in Minnesota. The Seahawks took a chance on him in the free agency. So far, it has worked. He's having an MVP-type season, very similar to what he had last year in Minnesota, if not better than what he had last year in Minnesota. Defense, as my esteemed co-host at No Credentials Required has mentioned, has been outstanding. Regardless of the fact that Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions last week, that defense kept them in the game. And they played well again against the Titans today, although they let their gas pedal, let the foot off the gas pedal just a skosh. And the Titans wound up covering. Hey, good teams win, great teams cover. But to be fair, let's be fair here. The last 4 games of this season are going to be tough. They got the Titans today. Next week they have Atlanta. Sorry, they're home against Minnesota. The Vikings at home next week. They're in Atlanta the following week. The last 4 games are going to be very tough. Home against the Colts, a very good Colts team.
Yeah.
Thursday night they play the Rams. And then we have to be determined at Carolina. Although they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, we don't know who they are right now. And then they're home against a San Francisco team that they might have to field a UFL team with all the injuries they've had this season by week 18. Let's be honest. But I still think the Seahawks make the playoffs. At this point right now, I don't know if they'll be a 1 seed, a 2 seed, or a 5 seed. Right now, they are a 5 seed. They will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are currently being motorboated by the Los Angeles Rams in the first half. It's 21-0.
Oh,
right?
Man.
But they got the next 2 weeks are going to be warm-up games for the 4 games they have left to conclude the season. And those 4 games are going to determine where, not if they make the playoffs, but what seed they are in the playoffs. It's going to be 1, 2, or 5. And I think even if they win the 5 seed, and they have to go to Tampa Bay or Chicago, depending on how Tampa Bay plays the rest of the season, or whoever wins the NFC South, Carolina's only a half game out right now. Yeah. If they win tomorrow, they're in first place. That's how drunk the 2025 NFL season is right now. The Bears are in first in the North. Carolina could be first in the South by tomorrow night's ending. So again, coming back to the Seahawks, I don't think it's going to be if make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs. Their seeding is going to be determined by the last 4 games of this season.
Both of you bring up some really great arguments. And for the sake of sanity, I am out.
I was hoping he would say sick of debate.
Oh, man. Yeah, I thought you were going to do it.
I just wanted to see the look on Dustin's face. I just wanted to see the look on Dustin's face if he said you were in.
The dramatic effect was strong.
I would hear very loud cursing from Albany, New York.
No.
There's not much I can really argue to really support, or there was definitely not really anything I could argue to go against it. If I was absolutely trolling, then I definitely would have done in on this one. But a lot of what both of you are saying supports your arguments very well. I mean, they do have not that tough of a schedule to finish the season out. They can definitely make a wild card spot. The Rams, I feel like, are going to win the West. I mean, based on how they're playing on offense when they're fully clicking on all cylinders with their receivers, and as well as defense, because their defense has been playing really well over there in Los Angeles. For the Seahawks, like you brought up, I will say this. The Vikings, they're absolutely going to beat them. Sam Darnold is going against that former team, and he wants to prove something. 1, you were stupid for letting me walk. 2, with the reports on J.J. McCarthy and his alter ego none. When none comes out, he's a terror. But yet your coach tells you but your coach tells you feet and eyes while you're on the field, basically telling you to shut the hell up and focus on the game. Like, focus and do your job. 9 sucks because 9 has 9 interceptions, okay? What are you going to do, call yourself 10 when you get 10 interceptions? Or should we just send you or tag you in a GIF? Yes, 10. Or should we tag you in a GIF of 11 from Stranger Things when you get 11? I don't know, because I'm getting close to doing that, J.J. McCarthy. Back on topic here with the Seahawks, though. You're beating the Vikings next week is where I'm going with all that. The week after, though, I feel like you're going to have a little bit more of a challenge with the Falcons if the Falcons continue to play like they did today. Next week's going to be a big teller of if I'll continue to support what I'm saying. I still need another week to see if the Falcons can continue to do what they did this week with Kirk Cousins. The Colts are going to be your toughest match in the next 3 weeks because of how they're playing this year. And yes, they had a tough day today, but the Colts have been for real for the majority of this season. Just goes to show that Daniel Jones was not a bust. He just needed a good team and great support system around him, and it's all paying dividends in Indianapolis. The Rams, I'm just going to be honest, it's going to be close, but I feel like you're going to suffer the loss with that one. I'm not even going to click the button because I don't want to be an a-hole, but I will say that
Do it.
No. I will spare him. We still have a decent amount of show left, but the Rams is going to be a tough matchup. You may potentially have back-to-back losses, and if the Falcons are clicking, which I don't think so. I think you still get past the Falcons. It's potentially 3 in a row, but let's not get too far ahead with that because I don't think that's going to happen. The Colts and the Seahawks, the Colts and the Rams are going to be potentially where you see back-to-back losses at, but that doesn't kick you out the playoffs yet. You got the Panthers who, yes, like you said, have been building something special this year based on what we've seen the last few years. They have been a dumpster fire, but have turned it around a little bit this year. I still think you beat them, and then you have a decently tough matchup for your last game of the season with the 49ers plug-and-play quarterback system, as we were talking about earlier. But I feel like you can still beat them as well. Your toughest matchups will be December 14th and December 18th because they're 4 days apart for one, and they're also against really tough teams being the Colts and the Rams. So from December 7th to December 18th, which is an 11-day stretch, you have 3 tough matchups if you include the Falcons on December 7th. From December 7th on, you guys have got to be clicking on all cylinders over there in Seattle, or that will be the stretch that knocks you out the playoffs if you lose back to back to back. And if you lose against the Vikings, you can forget it if you lose 4 in a row. But I don't think that's going to be possible with the alter ego of Mr. Non-Interception. Okay. So without being a troll or anything, I didn't want to go in and then say all this other different stuff to try to support a crazy statement. But however, with everything that you guys said, I can only support it much more with my breakdown of what I see in those games. In that, whether it's the 5th seed, the 6th seed, or hell, even the 7th seed, since they have the 7th seed for the wild card now, you're going to make it. If the Cowboys can have a hope, all right?
Yeah.
There's no reason why the Seahawks should not make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, because I thought about it for half a second. I was like, should I lean in and say that I was in on this and everybody would go crazy? But the only thing, and I was negative on the post-game show. If you see any of it, I was angry that the Titans game got as close as it does because you hit it, Ryan. The Seahawks have a tendency, they start fast on opponents and then they kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. That's a tough thing, and the reason why I know pretty much the Rams. Last week was the game they had to win because the Rams have a lead in the division. The Seahawks have divisional losses. They have interdivisional losses that the Rams do not have. That week 1 loss against the Niners killed them. So wild card, I think is their lot, but they'll be there.
Very well said, fellas. We still have 2 more rounds that we have to get to, but we do have one quick commercial break that we'll get to. Keep those comments going, Sick Diggy and others who are watching throughout the multiple platforms. We'll get to them right after our one and only commercial break. We'll see you here on the other side.
Hey, what's good, everybody? This your boy Corey, host of The Grind, where we talk about all things WWE. You can catch The Grind every single Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sertoba Media. If you're not following Sertoba Media, then what are you doing? Like, share, subscribe. There are many different things that we have available on Sertoba Media for your viewing pleasure. And what else you got to do on a Saturday afternoon? Come spend some time with me. Come spend some time with my colleagues on this platform. Help us be able to bring everything that you all want to see. Matter of fact, you know what? If you ain't did it yet, I got something for you. Stay true to what you do, stay true to why you do, and always stay true to you.
Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look. Hey, stop playing games. Y'all already know. Go ahead and toss him some Willie Bucks. Ain't nobody playing around. Hey, $sign DWillie87. Go ahead and hit him up on the Cash App and go ahead and give him some Willie Bucks. Look at Drew looking stoic, ladies and gentlemen. Stoic on that $10 bill. So go ahead, slide my man over some Willie Bucks, and we good. That's all I'm saying. We good. Slide some Willie Bucks.
Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Do you like talking sports? Do you like entertainment? Do you like the occasional series of heated discussions?
Are you in and out, Drew?
With that said,
Drew, Drew, I'm hearing a bunch of stuff in your mind. I know you know this team very well. Are you in and out, my friend?
Then you must see this. Drew Willingham versus random panelists. Who wins? You decide on the In or Out Sports Debate. Live. Whenever the we feel like it. Eastern Standard Time. Exclusively on Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Welcome back to the In or Out Sports Debate, episode 126. Myself, Drew Willingham, Dustin Henry, and Ryan McCarthy, back whenever the expletive we feel like it. Back on these screens. What'd you think of that commercial, Dustin?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I enjoyed it.
I like having that towards the end because it's a good little laugh on the way back from the commercial break. But those of you out here in the comments, let us know what you think. As Sick Diggy says, oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Talking about LeBron James with the laughing emojis. And he says, Brother Hughes.
Oh, my neck. Oh, my back and my neck.
Oh, no. We can't finish that one.
No, not that song. Early 2000s. Yeah, I just picked up on that. Anyway, for a second. Yes, came back in. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, Sierra. Not happening. But Brother Hugh Scott better do the spinner Rooney for his 5th appearance. I'll have to talk to him. I'll have to see if he's feeling it or not. Ryan McCarthy, if the NFL season is that drunk, how hungover will the playoffs be?
We're gonna be blackout drunk if the Panthers and the Texans wind up in the Super Bowl.
Oh man. Put a bet in on that one, Ryan.
It could happen.
What do you got to lose?
That is not happening.
It's not going to happen, but if it happens, we'll be blackout drunk.
Oh yes,
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Super Bowl 60.
Maybe Super Bowl 65 if both teams can continue to elevate themselves. But that is a topic for another day. But definitely a great question there, Sick Diggy. Keep them coming, and we'll see what we got as far as these next 2 rounds. Because round 4. Can you see it or not?
Round 4.
Here with round 4, John Cena will successfully defend the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Dominik Mysterio at Survivor Series. Ryan, we'll start this one off with you there, sir. How do you feel about this one with John Cena and Dirty Dominik Mysterio? Are you in or are you out on this one?
Is it Dominik Mysterio's time? No, it is not. For this reason, I am in. And let me explain why. I'm going to put my fantasy booker hat on in just a moment, but I just want to explain. I'm not fully up to. I try to keep up to speed on wrestling, professional wrestling. I don't sit and watch every single Friday SmackDown. I don't watch every Monday Night Raw. I don't watch Wednesday Night Dynamite. I catch up on my fellow bald a-hole Simon Miller show, the ups and downs. Shout out to my fellow bald a-hole Simon Miller. So I catch up on his shows just to see what's going on in this in the wrestling world. And I know that I know that John Cena won the IC title a couple weeks ago on Raw, and I was like, wow, cool, good for him. I saw what the highlight
Grand
of
Slam
him.
champion.
Yeah, Grand Slam. Now he's a Grand Slam champion. I did see the clip of him and Dominik doing the old Eddie Guerrero routine. That was hysterical. And John Cena just looks at him and goes. But going back to here, so we got this is the Cena's farewell tour. And by the way, thanks for stopping in Albany, John. But I understand it. I understand. It's Albany. You got his last time is now tournament, which kind of doesn't really seem to have brackets, so we don't know who's going to be facing who in the next round or whatever. But I'm putting my fantasy booker hat on.
All right.
I'm going to say Cena defends his title at Survivor Series. It won't be hook up by crook like it was when he turned heel. I really wish they would have kept on with that, by the way. But he's going to keep it. He's going to keep his IC title. He'll defend that Survivor Series. But I think he'll drop the title in his final match to whoever wins the last time is now tournament. Whoever wins that match wins the belt. I would have personally loved if Sheamus had won the tournament because he's never been a Grand Slam champion. He's never won the IC title. And unfortunately, he banged up his shoulder, so he won't be in the tournament anymore, which is sad. So I would have hoped that he would have ended his career with an IC with as a Grand Slam champion someday. But if I were a betting man, I would have to put my money on LA Knight to win the tournament, and then the next week on John Cena's last match, LA Knight beats John Cena for the title and sends John Cena into the sunset and have him go to Hollywood and complete his career there. So yeah, I'm in.
Very good take. Very solid. Dustin, what do you think about this one? Do you agree with Ryan? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I am out. And Ryan, you made some good arguments, but I'm going to put my Booker hat on, and I'm going to go with a different take for it.
Okay.
I don't keep up with the current product. I do see some stuff online, some stuff on social media, but I used to watch back in the day. I watched both WCW and WWF at the height of the Monday Night Wars and everything. But I was also a huge WWF fan back in the era when not a lot of people were fans. I was fan in the the new generation era, the 95, 94. I loved Diesel. Okay. But I will say the Intercontinental Championship. Now it's awesome that John was able to win that and become a Grand Slam champion. But the Intercontinental Championship belt is normally put on someone who they feel is not quite ready to be world champion, but it's kind of like a stepping stone belt. They acknowledge that, okay, this person clearly has it. This person clearly is a star. They're starting to get over. We'll put the IC belt on them. We'll see how they do with the IC belt. And then we'll determine whether we feel they're ready to carry the world title. And I think also it speaks to the type of person that John Cena is.
What in the world is going on?
John Cena has been very giving in his last hurrah here. And it was at least from what I saw on the internet is that Triple H wanted to go full tribute for Cena's last appearance on Raw, and at the Garden, I believe, was it right? I'm trying to remember.
The Garden, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's final time
at the Garden on Raw. My apologies. And Cena said, no, what if we had the NXT people square off against other stars, and we'll have a tournament of champions? And that speaks to me. I think Cena's gonna pass the torch a little bit to Dom. He's gonna say, okay, we'll give Dom a bump on my way out. And also, here's where I really go crazy. because I feel that Cena, he's supposed to be done December 13th, I think, right? He's supposed to finish up this year, and he's been vocal. He says, I can't wrestle anymore. But there's one person that he hasn't been able to do one last match with. And I know some things would have to fall into place for it to happen, but I think that he's not truly done in December. I think they bring him back for one more appearance at Mania, and he wrestles Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, the rated R superstar, and I think that's how he goes out. I think they have one last final match because he was one of Cena's rivals. And I think Cena wants to have one last square off with Edge. I know Edge is under contract with AEW, but apparently they said they're not going to. Who knows? Who knows? I just feel that he's not necessarily going to be done. And also, if you're going to bring him back, for Mania, like I'm thinking, they're not going to have a belt on him. And I think because of the type of person he is, and I think they want to take the temperature, see how Dom does with a belt. They put the IC championship on him like they did with Shawn Michaels back in the day. Now, why they put the IC belt on Honky Tonk Man so much, I'll never know, because that kind of torpedoes my argument. But I think he drops the belt to Dom. They put the IC belt on Dom.
Both of you bring up really compelling arguments, and I had to bust out the championship. All right, the WCW championship, because you were speaking my language, Dustin. You were talking WCW championship, and this even has the WCW bag for it. All right. So this is the authentic WCW World Heavyweight Championship. So that was for you, pal. All right, that was for you for your take. Both of you are disagreeing. So we are in another situation like we were earlier in the program where we're split until I talk. And both of you bring up some really, really, really great points because, Ryan, you say he will successfully defend it. And Dustin, you say that he will not and drop it back to Dirty Dom Mysterio for his second reign with the belt. And both of you kind of were close to selling me, but I already had my mind made up because I am out. I don't think he successfully defends it, in a lot based of what Dustin was saying, where basically passing the torch to Dom, because he passed the torch to Cody Rhodes, even though Rhodes had already had the torch passed by Roman Reigns before him when he won at WrestleMania 40. Well, when Cody dropped the championship to Cena for his 17th record-breaking reign back in April, he had the summer of being Johnnerin Cena, okay? And I'll even bring the old graphic up that I had when he was Johnnerin. Look at the two. You have John Cena on the left, what we're used to seeing, and Johnnerin Cena on the right. The bastard that we didn't want out here in WWE. Johnnerin Cena with the smug look on his face. We hated you. Now back to the farewell tour.
I actually kind of liked him.
Oh, how with the whole "let's put the championship behind us" act? No, get that out of here. We'll go back to we'll talk about that in a second.
That first promo in Belgium after he turned heel was incredible.
Was that the one where he yelled at the fans? And he's like, "You forced me to get hair transplant."
And that kid right over there, you pin that kid, and he's just like, what?
But that was the peak of it, because it was literally all downhill from there. Once The Rock did what he did with him at the Elimination Chamber, and there was nothing to continue that story, like that was absolutely
disappeared.
You just absolutely disappeared. That's definitely another topic we could debate at another time. But with this in the Intercontinental Championship, very much like when he eventually came out of his whatever phase it was with Johnnerin Cena over the summer, and then dropped the championship back when Cody came out there right before SummerSlam and said, "I just want the old John Cena back," and they brought back the old John Cena out there for SummerSlam. Had one of the best matches he's had in probably a half a decade with Cody, and probably arguably the best match he's had this entire run during the last time is now situation. He did the right thing and dropped it back to Cody. So he passed the torch for the upper card, okay, for the main title. Now you're in not the mid card situation, but you're in like the mid of the upper card and the middle of the mid card. You're like in there with the Intercontinental Championship. You're at like the 3/4 mark in the shows when you have the secondary belt. And you need to pass the torch to Dominik because Cody is the now. Cody, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, they're all the now, even though Roman Reigns shows up whenever he feels like it, like once every 3 months. But
Think of a contract.
yes, you gotta. If I had that just imagine if we could all just show up to work like one day every night, once every 90 days. How awesome would that be? Once or twice every 90 days, it's okay. You can just go on vacation, hang out with your children. Okay,
Go film a movie. Do what you want.
you just go do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 88 days. Okay, you show up for 2. We'll see you again in another 86 days. Whatever. But John Cena's run with passing the torch, this whole last time is now situation has been about paying it forward to the next generation. So a lot of what Dustin was saying, I absolutely agree with, because even though Dominik Mysterio is in a very good spot right now with his character and has continued to grow over the last 2 years, we talked about this 5 years ago. I wouldn't even imagine this being a thing because Dominik Mysterio was ultimate Nepo baby in 2020 around the pandemic. He has grown so much since the Judgment Day faction and what they've been able to do with him. And even though he's had to cheat to win, he's like literally like the spawn of Eddie Guerrero when the whole battle of custody over Dominik back in the mid 2000s with him and Rey Mysterio was like 2003, I think, because Eddie died in 2005. Oh no, it was actually 2004, 2005 because it was right before he passed.
By the way, no 10-year-old should have frosted tips. I'm sorry.
No, but this was also around boy band era time, not too far removed from it. So I guess, and he was from California, so that was a thing. California is a weird state. We'll just leave it at that. All right. But right here and now with this situation, I agree with Dustin because he's not going to successfully defend it. In this whole thing about the tournament is not to become Intercontinental Champion. It's to face John Cena and retire John Cena. Okay. You're already getting enough of a prize being the very last wrestler to face John Cena. I disagree with the follow-up part with what you were saying though, Dustin. I don't think he comes back. I think this is truly it because Edge, Adam Copeland, is under contract with AEW till 2026 in October of 2026. It's well beyond WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There has been no work between the two companies since AEW formed, except for the clean transition of wrestlers coming from AEW to WWE whose contracts have expired, like Cody and those who have followed him back to WWE or to WWE for the first time. I don't see there being a possibility that even though there's different ownership and different people running the show in WWE, the same person and the same individuals that work with that individual are running AEW. And there's bad blood between Cody Rhodes and AEW still. And because of that, and because you're helping the competition and the one that part of your owners, part of your founding members helped formulate in AEW, I don't think they're going to help with John Cena's last run there. And the best situation that they would have had to fit him in there, which I think the story was written that way with Sheamus's shoulder injury and the Miz filling in, that would have been the perfect spot for somebody on the outside to come fill it. We already saw Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona, come in there, and Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, come back from TNA because they have a working situation to be in the last time is now tournament. But if we were going to see Edge, we would have already done it because now we're in quarterfinal situation. We're already past the first round with what happened this past Friday night on SmackDown. We're now quarterfinals and beyond because this upcoming Saturday is John Cena's last PLE. He's got two more appearances. That's it. Survivor Series this Saturday against Dom. He's going to drop the belt, in my opinion. And then I do agree with you on it will be LA Knight that faces John Cena, because he like, as much as WWE has dropped the ball when LA Knight has been up here and needs to get a pure run with the world championship, or hell, even the WWE championship, they have dropped the ball every time, even when he was the United States champion. So
I think that's what makes the pot sweeter, though, is a chance to not only retire the arguably the greatest of all time, but also win a belt too, and subsequently turn heel. Be the guy who says, I'm the guy who retired John Cena. I deserve all these accolades, including this championship. The next level is whichever title he wants to go after next, the heavyweight title or the universal title.
Out of everything we've gone up against tonight, for the one person to be going against two individuals in a topic, this one right here, you have the best chance to be right at. And I actually like your take. I support it. I hope that actually happens. I just don't see it being possible, because I feel like the way that they're presenting this, the opportunity to face John Cena for his last match is just as big, if not bigger, than winning the Intercontinental Championship. So it's still a cool situation if what happens that you're saying happens, Ryan, and I like it. And I think for storytelling, it actually would be best. But to kind of balance the load of everything going on with the Last Time Is Now tournament, with the PLEs, with working Cena in to spots that somebody else is their opportunity is being taken up because of all these times John Cena has been on the main roster this year, I think that they separate the two. Dom needs that Intercontinental Championship for his character right now, because him having that Intercontinental Championship and getting screwed out of it by a member or two or all of the Judgment Day, and them turning on each other around or before WrestleMania, I see that being possible because of the tensions between the Judgment Day and Dom over the last year. So,
but it also could happen at Survivor Series too, and he doesn't win the belt.
That is very true. That could help. That could also
and
happen.
that'll launch Dom as a face instead of a heel, because they're looking at probably doing a face turn with him eventually.
That actually would be pretty awesome, because big moments do happen in Survivor Series, like CM Punk's return being one that was the most recent a few years ago. Yep. So I'm with you on that. But
I mean, we can't forget about
out here in the comments, because Six says. Can't forget about what?
We can't forget about the biggest moment at Survivor Series, the gobbledygooker.
I thought you were going to say the screw job.
Involving a member of the Guerrero family. How cool.
Oh, man.
Which Guerrero was that? I forgot.
Chavo Sr., I think it was.
Oh, man.
Really?
I thought it was I thought
Hector.
it was. I'm trying to remember who it was in there. I can't remember who Bruce said it was.
It was Hector Guerrero.
It was Hector.
I was right.
Huh?
I said Hector.
Okay, I thought
nice. Awesome. I've watched way too much WWE then. Awesome. So that just proved it. Yeah.
And that's
but anyway,
and that's okay. That's your life choice. We don't shame. We don't shame in this program.
Six says, I'm out. It's Cena's last run, and he'll drop the belt back to Dirty Dom at Survivor Series with the plenty of shenanigans. That will put Dom and possibly Finn Balor on a collision course for the title. So a lot of what we were kind of going back and forth with are combined in Six's statement right here. We all have, even with Sick here, in the three of us here in the show, we all have some very compelling arguments. It could go either way between now and next Saturday. But the one thing's for sure, I'm hyped about it, because the last time is now, and John Cena held this championship. Even though it was the World Heavyweight Championship, it was the WCW Championship. And you don't forget to yell WCW anymore. But with all that being said,
NWO for life.
WO for life. We now have one more round to get to. Speaking of for life, this is the final round.
Final round.
From football to basketball to John Cena, we're now back to football with the Canadian Football League and the Saskatchewan Roughriders will repeat as CFL Grey Cup champions in 2024. 2026. Looking at this for what it is. We got to start this one out with Mr. McCarthy because of the team that the Rough Riders faced in the Grey Cup finals. Are you in or are you out on this one?
See, now you're trolling. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm gonna be out. And yes, I knew that Drew put this statement out here so he could say Saskatchewan Rough Riders in his trademark fashion, like I just did. My voice hurts now. And I'm again
trading,
smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskeys.
Years of unhealthy lifestyle.
Now I've gone to hard seltzers and vaping. Drew's dead.
Celsius.
Anyway, I'm gonna say I'm out here. This is not to troll Drew or make Rough Rider fan angry. But the CFL is structured differently than the NFL. On the NFL, you have multi-year contracts. They award big contracts to the biggest players. They're rewarded with multi-year deals, like we just saw, like we've seen pretty much since the early 2000s. All right, but it's not like that in the CFL. The most number of years you'll see for the biggest contracts for multi-year contracts is 2, because of the way their salary cap structure is. I believe their salary cap is $1.5 million US. So you're not playing for a whole lot of money and a whole lot of prestige in the CFL. And I know they're trying to change that. If you, Drew, I don't know if you got a chance to see Stuart Johnston's State of the CFL during Grey Cup week. He had some very compelling arguments about the rule changes and what they're doing to improve the fan base of the game, because it's going to generate revenue for the league. And hopefully by then we'll see a bigger salary cap. But I did some research today. I did some research during the commercial break and during one of the segments. Do you know how many free agents the Rough Riders are going to have going into the free agent market when it begins in February?
I know it's a lot.
45.
Holy shnikes!
45 free agents they will have in free agency. That's
including my man AJ Olet.
That include according to 3 Down. Shout out to 3 Down Nation, the Piffles podcast, for that little niblet right there. It also includes Trevor Harris, who won Grey Cup MVP, and it also involves a lot of the receivers that were Keyshawn Johnson, give him the damn ball, Keon Schaefer-Baker, a lot of the receivers that were key parts of their Grey Cup run, and also a lot of the defensive players are also part of that Grey Cup run, including Tavon Campbell. If they want to repeat as Grey Cup champions, they're going to have to be a lot of players who are going to have to take the discount to stay together. And even if they do, in this era of the CFL, it's very difficult to repeat. The last time, given the last time there was a repeat, Winnipeg won the Grey Cup in 2019 and 2021. We won't talk about 2020 in this program. Nightmare every year. But it's very difficult to repeat in a 9-team league. It might seem easy, but you got 21-week schedule. You've got the semifinal. You got the final. You got the Grey Cup afterwards. It's a long season. It starts in June and it ends in November. You got to be healthy. You got to be very healthy. You got to have a lot of luck happen. Got to have a lot of things go your way during the regular season to get to the Grey Cup. And just because of the fact that they have so many free agents and coming up in free agency, I think the next closest is 27. BC has 27 free agents. A lot of teams haven't released they haven't made their free agents official yet. But 45 free agents. That's a lot of overhead. And if you're Jeremy O'Day, who's the GM, or if you're Corey Mace, who's the head coach of the team, you're gonna have to convince a lot of guys to take I wouldn't say a steep discount, but try to return for the same money they had the season before. And granted, you get bonuses with the Grey Cup, and you get your Grey Cup win, you get a nice bonus. But maybe it's a nice incentive to keep the guys. But man, 45 free agents is a lot of free agents for one team specifically in a 9-team league.
He's got some great point, Dustin. Do you agree with him? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I do agree with him. I am out. And I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know as much about the CFL as either of you do, because you both do a podcast about it. So I don't follow the league the way that both of you do, but I may change that. I might start watching some CFL games. Stuff going on in the CFL, but I did some research before the show as well, and I started looking. I pulled up Wikipedia. Not always the most reliable source, I know, but as Ryan pointed out, the last team to do it were the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2019 and then 2021, because we all know what happened in 2020. But that was a gap, technically. That was a gap. It might not have been a gap in football, but it was a gap in times. And as Ryan argued successfully, you have to have so much line up just right to be able to go back-to-back, let alone, it takes so much to win. I mean, look at what it took the Seattle Seahawks to do. Everything had to break their way just to go to back-to-back Super Bowls, and they got a lot of breaks that year. And if it were not for Pete Carroll deciding not to run the ball on the 1-yard line, they have repeated. But also, I'm going to use another example. Ryan mentioned we're going to be talking about the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And they were trying to three-peat, and they couldn't do it because things just didn't line up. They had injuries, they had people underperforming. And Ryan brought up the argument about the free agents. We've seen that even in the NFL. Once a team wins, you get coaches and coordinators. They either become head coaches, or they get more money to be a coordinator somewhere else. And with the salary cap, and the way it works in the CFL, like Ryan broke down, it's a tough road to try to repeat as champions in any sports league, because everything has to work just right. So I argued less effectively than Ryan did, but I agree with him.
Do I have to play the Homer alert?
Would not be spoken that you think I'm going to say. I'm just going to say I'm in. McCarthy, you bring up a special number. The special number being 45. And why that number is special? Because the dog of the team, AJ Olette, wears number 45. And he is going to be the one that stands up to the team and says, we may need to eat tuna and kidney beans all next year because they can't pay us. But we need to do this for the people of Saskatchewan, because it is time to have back-to-back champions in the CFL again. It is time to prove that you can make chicken expletive out of chicken expletive, okay? Chicken salad out of chicken expletive. You fill in that expletive, you know what it is. The color is brown, and it stinks. All right? They can do it. I believe in them. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders are my homer team, yes. They are my favorite team. And this year, not just for me, but for all of the little Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans, they pulled it in, and they did it for all the Rough Rider maniacs. Number 45 was the big number on the field that led them to the promised land. And he's going to stand in front of the entire team and the general manager and say, pay us more than tuna and kidney bean money because we need to be able to live out here in these expensive streets. But if you want a championship and you want to continue to build, ooh, yeah, as we just had the wrestling topic just before this, the Saskatchewan Rough Riders will find a way.
You know, I found out the other day.
What's that?
Saskatchewan's well known for pizza.
Really?
What?
Yeah, pizza. Like
I didn't know
I
that.
have to do us three. We gotta do like okay.
All right.
If one of us wins Powerball or Mega Millions someday, we form our own media company. We gotta do like a channel of football and food, like a football and food world tour. And that'll be one of our destinations is Regina, Saskatchewan. Check out a Rough Riders game and Simple Pizza throughout the town. Because apparently Saskatchewan's got good pizza.
Yeah.
Barstool Pizza Review have nothing on us.
That's right.
That's true.
We require 2 bites.
Yeah, that's right.
And no flop jalops. In honor of Crispy Pizza in Brooklyn, New York, which that has to be our first place to go, regardless of sports or not. Has to.
So prior to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers repeating, you know who was the last team to repeat prior to them?
I do know because
You do?
I just looked it up.
You do. Who was that team, Dustin?
It's your squad, Ryan, the Montreal squad in 2009, 2010, the Alouettes.
Yeah, they went to 3 Grey Cups in a row. In 2008, lost that game, came back in 2009, beat the Rough Riders, and 2010, beat the Rough Riders with the greatest quarterback of all time between any league, Anthony Calvillo.
Well, if you can have your fun, it is now my time. Your time is up. My time is now. John Cena.
Well, I mean, I'm going to throw a wrench into this whole thing. I'm going to become the biggest Edmonton fan. You know, I'm going to start watching the CFL next year. I mean, I know they changed their name.
Going to absolutely hate that team. Congratulations.
I will say this. They got better as the season went on because Cody Fajardo became quarterback.
They did, but they're going to start the next year out like they have the past few years, where the first half of the year is just absolute dumpster fire to watch.
We shall see.
It took them the second half this year to finally turn it around a little bit.
It's
mean, I gotta support Edmonton. I gotta do it. I'm an Oilers guy.
Gotta do it.
It is now time of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where we get to the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
And we have to announce that these two have now entered the vault once again.
Yay.
Dustin Henry is now a 2-time Vault of Fame inductee with his appearance here on episode 126. Locked in the vault with everybody else, all this gold on the shelf. You can't do anything with it in the market of money, but all of the gold in the vault is because of these gentlemen and their participation in these programs, along with the others who were here before them. And Ryan McCarthy, Mr. McCarthy, is now a 3-time Vault of Fame inductee.
3 times.
As well. 3 times. Yes, sir. Here with the gold out here in these streams. And you both know when it comes to this show here for episode 126, there's one thing we do with them all is we pay homage to those appearances that you had before and everyone else here with the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
You know, I want to take this time to kind of shout you out, Drew. You have taken a concept and made it into a whirlwind of fun for a lot of people. I know for myself. Dude, I am proud of you, man. I want you to continue to do what you're doing. But the concept that you came up with, how much you put into it, how much you've changed it, how much you add to it, the work shows, man. So kudos to yourself. Round of applause for you, man. And just wanted to say thank you for having me on again. It was a lot of fun. Look forward to the next one.
Shout out to Drew for letting me come on the show. It was a lot of fun. Honestly, didn't know what to expect coming into this, and I am super happy that I agreed to come on to this because it was a blast, well-produced show. Honestly, extremely impressed by all the effort you put into this show, Drew. Thank you for having me on, and I look forward to coming back on in the future.
Man, you took me back. This is why this show was so important, and this is why I am personally validating and vouching for this show. If you are anybody in media, sports, professional wrestling, anything, you need to be on In or Out Sports Debate with my man Drew Willingham, because this has got to be one of the most fun things I've ever done in a long time.
That there was the In or Out Sports Debate Vault of Fame, brought to you by episode 126. One more thing left to do before we go to the outro, and that is the final word. And now, let's change the background because it's time for the final word. Dustin, what's on your mind there, sir? Let us know here with your final word.
Well, I think because it's the Thanksgiving holiday that's coming up, at least here in the States. I know the Canadians, they celebrated it back in October, but I just want to say I'm thankful to you, Drew, for allowing me to do this show. I'm also thankful to you, Ryan, for as I've talked about, for giving me the platform and coming to me all those years ago and saying, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? Because it's been a ride. I've met some people, met a lot of good people through this. And anybody that supported me, whether it be during my Extra Life charity fundraiser, there were a lot of people that I've met through the world of podcasting that supported me for that. And my last thought to close it out is give Thanksgiving its love. There's a lot of people in the US here that just want to jump straight from Halloween to Christmas. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. As I get older, I realize that, and spend some time with your family or people that you care about this holiday. Enjoy Thanksgiving, and thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you for that, Dustin. Very well said. It definitely brings up some great points here with the week of Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for your thanks as well. Ryan, it is your turn. What do you got to drop bombs on us here for the final word?
I honestly forgot about this segment, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Dustin brought up some great points about Thanksgiving, and I had to think about my Thanksgiving memories being a little bit, again, also being in my late 40s, surprisingly. I think back to my first Thanksgiving in 1985 in New York. We had just moved about 8 9 months earlier from New Jersey. It was our first Thanksgiving. My mom's making the meal. And that day we got about 1.5 feet of snow.
Oh, man.
On Thanksgiving Day.
Nice.
And my grandparents drove up from New Jersey to spend the Thanksgiving holiday with us. I remember that day succinctly. I sat and watched the New York Jets and the Detroit Lions that day. The Jets got walloped that day. Surprise, surprise. But I just remember watching with my grandfather. My Thanksgiving was my grandfather's, my pop-pop's favorite holiday, because it's a time to just give thanks, be thankful for what you have, be thankful for who you have in your life, and just count your blessings. Even the smallest blessings you can count. Just waking up every day is a blessing. Having a roof over your head is a tremendous blessing. 4 wheels to drive is a blessing. Have money in your pocket to spend on food. Just putting the food on the pantry, putting food in your pantry, putting food in your refrigerator. That's a blessing too. Having employment is a blessing. Sports are a blessing too. Sports are a getaway from the regular humdrum or rush around of life, and it makes our lives full, because as people who are content creators, who are podcasters, who tell stories about not so well-known sports figures and accomplishments, it's an opportunity. It's a blessing to share those stories with people and to live in a country that allows us the freedom to talk about such ideas freely. So Thanksgiving, again, just like Dustin said, give it its due. Give it its due, and spend your time with family. Be happy, just be thankful, and count your blessings, all the blessings that you have, and be grateful for what you have, because you might not have it tomorrow.
Well said there, my man. Definitely well said. For somebody who didn't prepare for the topic, you drop bombs again. Love it. Absolutely. Well, today, even though it's a little bit backwards because maybe the camera setting, I don't know, I'm wearing the American made because Dustin said Thanksgiving for October was for Canada. Thanksgiving for November is America. So here in America, I am thankful for the land of the free, the land of the fact that we can wake up every single day and just say America if we want to, okay? But most importantly, thank you to these two gentlemen for being here today, taking time to be here with me for the past 2 hours to have fun for episode 126. Thank you to everybody else out there who's been supportive of me on and off the air. And just like you guys said, the opportunities and the things that we do on a day in and day out basis with those things that we have. Thank you for myself to all of that. You know who you are. And also thank you for the ability to wake up today, because for someone who has had a little bit of roadblocks to potentially prevent that from potentially happening in the future, based on what we joked about earlier from 20 years of... All right, we'll talk more about that at another time, because that's in the past. That's not the present. That's the past. But right now, Thanksgiving week, looking forward to some turkey, looking forward to some good people at some point, because I got to work on Thanksgiving. I actually won't be able to go out and do anything really on that day. But my heart and my mind will still be elsewhere outside of the place, wishing that I was in those places, partaking in Thanksgiving. We still have other holidays, but Thanksgiving is one of the best, because it's the time where you can get not just family together, but friends, and celebrate your appreciation and your gratitude for their impact on your lives. So thank you all very much for having an impact here for this show and being here with us for episode 126 of the In or Out Sports Debate with Dustin Henry and Brian McCarthy of No Credentials Required. In my ugly mug you see every Sunday evening.
Oh, don't say that, Drew. You're as average as the rest of us.
Yes! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. I'm average. I'm celebrating average. And speaking of celebrating average, we'll celebrate another average outro with our exit here on the show. For these two right here, I am Drew Willingham. I've only got one thing left to tell you, and that is to stay safe out here in these streets.
Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.